all day today I've had this lump in my throat, just this feeling of like, like that when you're nervous about something or you need to speak something. And I can't seem to get it to go away. I don't know what it's about, but I know it's something, a message coming through about the throat chakra, and kind of feeling this like pressure to speak or this pressure to express. It could be something that needs to be said to a person, but with all of the other energies and messages that I'm connecting to right now, I'm more so getting this sense of, I'm hearing prophetic, receiving a lot of prophetic visions, dreams, downloads, to the point that it's probably a bit overwhelming, where it's like, which one of these am I supposed to do? But I was seeing Spirit affirming that like you are a receiver, you're like a TV antenna right now, okay? It's like you opened up to this broader spectrum of consciousness and you are constantly in receiving mode. And it can be overwhelming, but I'm hearing it's also sustaining. Interesting. It's like it's an energy source for you. So even though it's a lot to receive and try to process, it's also nurturing your spirit. It's rejuvenating. I'm hearing like re-electrifying. You're connecting to the grid. So I'm getting this sense of maybe you're voice recording these messages, writing them down, painting them potentially. There's something here where it's like they're just saying, just keep expressing, just keep swimming, kind of. Just keep doing it. There's this air of releasing perfectionism, just getting it out. And I feel this, a lot of us collectively are going through this. It's like a gathering phase. And I was seeing us collectively like building this like Akashic library. How so many of us channeling are literally, we're just receiving all the information and we'll compile it and organize it later. But there's this sense of like, just be open to receiving, and not just like receiving abundance, receiving love, receiving the things that we think, but like literally receiving these energetic upgrades, these downloads. Yeah, here it's like download and upgrade. So it's like what we were just saying about it draining, kind of like it's taking a lot of energy to hold this, but it's also at the same time recharging your battery. There's a lot coming through here about Christ consciousness, and even something I've pondered a lot is, what if Christ was just a consciousness? What if it wasn't actually a person? What if it was a consciousness that was channeled through even Mary, potentially? I don't know. It's just interesting when you think about a lot of biblical stories are metaphors. Like there's something here about just expanding the realm of what we believe, expanding it, taking a more multi-dimensional perspective to these things that seem so set, because humanity is evolving, our consciousness is evolving, so we need to be open to seeing these things from a whole new angle. And this is part of what the other day we were talking about, releasing religious trauma. And on any level, I think a lot of people who grew up in any kind of religion could have some kind of bad taste in their mouth, potentially, if then you're awakening. And it can be minor, it can be extreme, but part of this path with coming into unity and spirituality is needing to release the trauma around religion, because realizing like a lot of that, those stories and the practices were misinformed or were used for money or for power for reasons that they were not intended. Yeah, thank you. A lot coming in as well about the power of intent. And remembering your own intention, your pure intention, your gold intention. I was getting a vision earlier of like this sense that a lot of things you've been through, manipulative people may have tried to make you think that you were in the wrong, or like you were a bad person, or that you did something, but truly that was them projecting on you. And you have to go back, like think about any experience that you're holding maybe still some regret, shame, sadness about. Like go back and really think about, what was your intention truly? What was your intention? And if you did have ill intention, then there is place there to need to. Yeah, I'm even hearing that phrase, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. It's not the sense of like that's a kind of a false light or a false intention, but truly get to the heart of what your intention is in any situation. And with that lump in the throat, if you need to speak something difficult or if you're feeling pressure to speak, center on your intention, because they're saying that will almost make it easier if you just focus on why you're expressing it, or having a pure intention, not expressing this in a way that's going to be harmful or hurtful, I'm hearing, or derogatory. None of that is your intent. So it's like align with the pure intention, align with your source truth, and then it may be easier to deliver. Also a lot coming through here about crystals, the crystalline grid, the power of crystals to store energy. Tonight I was in this amazing workshop and we're like learning about all different things, and it was talking about the crystalline grid and literally the crystals in the earth storing memories. And I know crystals, like I've gotten that before in my own downloads about crystals storing energy and even storing the essence of different experiences, different people potentially being able to store some. I'm hearing refracted memories. But then I had never really thought of it on the bigger scale of the earth storing the memories in the crystals, storing information. So this is why you hear a lot of people working with the crystalline grid or doing grid activations or being called to specific places. It's because you stored a memory there, or you stored information there, or even if it wasn't, a past version of you, there is something stored there for you. So connecting with that energy literally by going there, or if you're not able to, visualizing, transporting. Yeah, thank you. I was getting the term omnipresent earlier, and I was thinking about how we're becoming omnipresent. Back to the show The Magicians and the movie I started watching the other night, Jumper. There's a sense of like being able to jump to these different, to any reality, to any timeline within this current realm. This omnipresence, being able to be multidimensional, omnipresent. So on that note, like I think, with travel too, it's like things will get more efficient. Like if we're doing energy work, different things, we'll be able to just tap into the grid using our own consciousness. That's the power of meditation, astral travel, all of these things. But they just keep reiterating the amount of information that's coming through right now, especially with solar flares, different things. These energies being encoded. So right now it's like reframe your perspective of what this receiving mode is, because it's not just about you. And that's something I've had to remind myself of recently. Especially if you feel like you're really being called to another place, another location, another profession. All this other energy of like being called somewhere else. If you don't have full clarity or the momentum or the alignment yet, trust that there's a reason why you're meant to be where you are right at this moment. There's a reason your energy is needed here. And realize that it's bigger than you, and it's never just about you. So there's something here about, I'm hearing being a light carrier, being a beacon. I heard like beacon and shower. I'm hearing dream weaver. There's something where like your location is very important, and you may often and also be called to places, even if you're called back home. That can be, like for me, I found it can be triggering. It can be intense to be back in a place if you kind of got out of there and you went through an awakening and you had all these energies, and it's like you feel like you keep getting sucked back to your point of origin. There's a reason, especially if you resonate with being like a generational healer, someone who's kind of breaking the chains. There's a sense of like the proximity to your family and to the energy you grew up in. Also places where maybe you've had ancestors, it's like you're called to these places because your energy is transmuting those. So part of that is why you are called back to these places, even if it's like, well, I don't want to be here, or where do I get to go next, or when is my dream place going to come in? Trust that there's a reason why you're being anchored in. I get it being temporary, but there's a sense of like, keep trying to zoom out and think of this bigger perspective. And just keep recording these messages, these visions, because I do see it all coming together, things aligning. You're almost there. also this recalibration that you're going through, and all this information, like we said, it's charging you up, it's recalibrating you. Like, this isn't finished yet. You need, I'm seeing like the download bar on a computer. This needs to be this energy activation, which I feel like has spanned at least a few years. These upgrades, it's not fully complete yet, so let it finish out, because all of this energy and this information is going to help you. Like, and if you try to force it and leave preemptively, then you'll just be pulled back, because you need to receive this. Okay? I know it's a lot coming through, but I just had to like get it out. And even the lump in my throat's feeling slightly better as I'm saying this. So again, it's just express this. I'm hearing American Express. Anything there? I was getting something a while back about diamonds. Like, this is just reminding me as I'm thinking of crystals and stones. I was seeing how like this is why like the diamond ring, and especially any kind of wedding ring with a gem in it, why that bond is so powerful. It's because like you're literally storing your vows. What we were getting about the crystal, you're storing your vows, you're storing the energy in this space. Like, you're literally storing it, which is powerful, but it can also be rigid if it's not tended to. If there's not new energy flowing in, or new vows, renewing the vows. Yeah, there's something here, because it's like you can get stuck in a fixed paradigm. Also something about, like, I was literally getting like, this is why marriages can be so hard to dissolve. It's not just the paperwork. It's literally because of the bond that's created when you're speaking into these stones that you're wearing. And with the circle, something here with the symbolism of the circle as well. The orphan, yeah, look at that. The snake is forming the circle there. So yeah, that's really, there's just a lot coming in here with crystals. You may be working with crystals in a new way. I know we talked about this the other day, but it's coming up again. Vogel crystals. Isn't it funny how things come back around? Or like as a kid, you know, like I loved crystals. I loved rocks as a kid. I collected them. And I kind of, you know, as we all do, sometimes get away from our childhood hobbies or the things that we love. And then it's like now doing this work and coming back to this, I'm like, I was drawn to those because I knew the power of crystals. I knew the wisdom that they hold. So it could be something weird like that, reconnecting to something that you loved as a child. Potentially it's like resurfacing in your spiritual journey now. Pay attention to that. I'm seeing Lisa Frank and rainbow energy. Do you guys ever have a trapper keeper? I just got a vision of my trapper keeper. I think it was Lisa Frank. Man, remember cool school supplies? Yeah, this is like defying, we're getting out of these boxes, these rigid forms of consciousness. We're like just shooting out, expanding. This is the one. So again, this is exactly reaffirming kind of the generational curse breaker. And I'm getting this again as Christ consciousness, and see how like religions have tried to define it or to try to put it in this box, but it's like literally I'm seeing the box being superimposed on the Christ consciousness. It's like if this were slid, like you can't define this. It's a perception that it can be defined, but it can't be. I know this is high level. If it's not all making sense in your logical mind, just receive it, because oftentimes these energetic downloads, especially when it's like just get it out, there's a lot of energy. So it's like words can be coded or different symbols it's just like receive the energy. Your mind doesn't necessarily need to understand it yet, but if it feels resonant or if it feels like there's something aligned, then that's all, that's what matters. It's just like following the attunement. Yeah, we have apocalypsis and the eternal child. So again, this is pointing to me to like Christ consciousness, kind of this apocalypse energy, or how like it's been like the end times. Like tonight we also learned, about the date, like 12/21/2012, I think is what they said, when it was predicted, like the Mayan calendar, like maybe predicted, was it Mayan? When there was like a prediction of it being like the end times, but really it was literally the planet moving like out of this kind of 26,000 year cycle into like this whole literal different kind of timeline. So it was the end, but it was also instantaneously a new beginning. So that's a really interesting concept coming up about time and the essence of time, our perception of time. Yeah, there's definitely a healing activation happening here. Very powerful. I'm hearing tantric. Okay. I don't remember what that means right now, but tantric, the three-headed snake. We've got more crystals here. I'm also seeing opal in that, so there's something here maybe about opal. Something here about gemstones, again, crystals, gemstones, using them in a different format, using them. I'm hearing as technology, okay. Oh, I love technology. Let's end it on a Napoleon Dynamite note. Thank you again for joining me in the House of Bardot, and I will see you next time.